welcome to the ERTC Lending Network. My name is Gerald Watson. I'd like to thank you and welcome you today to share a little bit of sunshine and paradise. And today we're going to talk about the top 10 things you must do if you're interested in filing for an advance against your ERC refund. Uh, if you haven't filed yet, if you already filed a few weeks ago or a few months ago, uh, if you'd like to get access to your cash right now, 2 to 3 weeks or less, versus waiting 6 to 12 months for the check to show up from the IRS. Today we're going to talk about the top 10 things that you must do in order to help ensure that you get the refund approved and coming your way. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, number one, when you're putting together your ERC funding application package, you want to be sure to include all your corporate documents. And that starts with a document checklist, which should be typically provided by the lender itself. And what you want to do is you want to walk through that document checklist and divide everything into three categories. One, the documents that you have on hand right now. Second, the documents that you don't have. Or third, that the documents that you'll need to prepare or get from a third party. That's going to be really fundamental in making sure that your application package, when it goes in, gets processed and moved forward in a speedy manner. Because what happens in the absence of that, if you got documents that are missing, what underwriting's going to do, they're going to set your package aside, come back to it later. Number two, you want to find out, and this is really important, what the lender's approval criteria is. What makes them say yes? What makes them say no? Why are you declined? You know, it's amazing how many times someone will go to a lender for financing, asset-based lending, a bank loan, whatever it is, and they'll say they got declined, and I'll ask them a question, well, why were you declined? And they won't have any idea. What you want to do in walking in the door before you even apply is understand what their criteria is, what makes them say yes. Number three, you want to make sure that on the documents itself, the application package itself, the application form, or any forms that are required for you to fill out from that lender. One, you want to make sure that you've initialed all the places where an initial is required, check where in every box where a check is required, and make sure that you sign and dated every place where that's required as well. And here's something else that's really important. Most lenders require what's called a wet signature. What does that mean? A wet signature is the opposite of an electronic signature, which we often see today. The reason why lenders require that is there's a host of reasons. One of the primary reasons has to do with fraud protection, making sure that the janitor didn't find your ERC application, fill it out and send it in, or anyone who's not authorized. So you want to make sure that it's initial and every place it's supposed to be. The second thing you want to make sure about is that in every application package there's a form called 8821. That's an IRS form which is signed and sent into the IRS, which enables them to check and see, have you filed all your 941s? Look at any outstanding tax obligations that you may have. And here's something that, guys, is really important. You want to make sure that the addresses on your application, the address on your 8821, and the address on your tax return all match up. You know, we had a client that just yesterday, in fact, they had three different addresses. Different address on the application, different address on the 941, and a different address on the 941X. As a result, couldn't push that any forward till we resolved the problem. And what happens when that happens is you're causing a major delay. And so make sure that you sign initial everywhere that you're supposed to, where it's required, and make sure that all the addresses reflecting the corporate business name are the same in every place where it's required. Number four, you want to submit your complete application package, all the documents, all at once. Let me say that one more time. You want to make sure that when you compile all the documents, the application, everything that's required, that you submit it all at once, versus sending a few documents today, a few documents tomorrow. And here's the reason for that. Underwriting, what they're going to do is going to at the end of the day, delay the processing of your package because it's coming in pieces. And given the fact that not only are they looking at your app package, they're looking at a stack of others just like you. The ones that are going to fly right through underwriting are those that are complete. Everything's there that's required and in the form they need to see it. Item number 5, proof of submission of your ERC refund package to the IRS. Typically what happens if you're using an outside accountant or a third-party firm to prepare your ERC refund package, they will normally have you sign what's called the 941X, and then they will submit that to the IRS. Many will receive what's called a proof of submission. That's typically a receipt from the post office showing where it's been sent in overnight mail, express mail, whatever the case may be. You want to make sure that you have a copy of that because particularly in cases where the package has been submitted in 6 weeks or less. Maybe you just filed it yesterday or 2 weeks ago. Because what happens is once it gets to the IRS, it'll take them a few weeks before it may actually show in the system. Proof of mailing gives a ERC financing lender the evidence that not only was the package prepared, but it was actually submitted to the IRS.